Hello, my name is Gerald Anderson, and I am a new student here at CCU. This is my first semester. I currently live with my wife, Laura, and my mother-in-law, Roxanne, in San Antonio, Texas. I am a retired veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and just trying to figure out new technology. This is my third and final attempt at getting my degree. The first time, I was just a little too wild for my own good and thought maybe it'd be best to serve my country by joining the Marine Corps. I needed a little help with my personal discipline from my friendly and helpful drill instructors, who, by the way, were more than willing to help me out in that quest to become more disciplined. They seemed really happy about it now that I think about it. The second time, I was in my early 30s, and that failed because I got a job offer that was just too good to turn up. I mean, literally, it was fantastic, and I just decided that, okay, spend money to get a degree and might get a job, or get a job now, earn money now, and go on. So I went with that. Now this time, I am actually going to try to fulfill a passion, some might call it a calling, of mine to help my fellow veterans return to normalcy. It's kind of hard to explain to somebody, but when you come home, you're not used to being normal anymore. And, after 20 years of nightmares and a few other things, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I didn't think about it because I still joked and laughed and everything else, but apparently I had it pretty severe. I never realized that whenever I would walk into a restaurant, I always faced the exit, or when I'd walk into a movie theater, I would count people walking in and I would count how many steps it would take to get out. My wife thought it was funny. Not the nightmares, the whole OCD thing with it. But this past year, I was diagnosed and got treatment for my PTSD, and right now my nightmares are down to maybe one every 2 weeks, and I can control them, sort of. I just wake up instead of having to fight through them. And I want to return that sense of peace to my brothers and sisters at arms. So I'm working on a degree right now in psychology. I'm working for my master's in psychology with emphasis in clinical counseling. And I chose to do so at a Christian church because that kind of sets my values more than to my learning. So to address my best and worst public speaking moments, they're actually linked. My best public speaking moment was when I was asked about 20 years ago to give the sermon, my first sermon ever for our church. Now, our church met in Regions, which was in Phoenix, Arizona, and I gave it, but what they forgot to tell me was it wasn't just going to be for our region, it was going to be all 5 regions, including Tucson was going to come up, and I had to give a speech in about 1,500 people. And I was asked afterwards, let me put it this way. They told me that it went well, that I did good, but to me it meant a lot that the leaders of our church asked me if I wanted to join the ministry. So that kind of gave me a sign that it went well. And ironically, to start off that same sermon, as I was walking onto the stage to approach the podium, I slipped and fell down the stairs, rolled onto the stage, and I wasn't as big now, or then, as I am now. My chest has moved down to my stomach, and vice versa, actually. It kind of got round all the way around. Round all the way around. Nice touch. I need to save that. My goals for this class are to become a better communicator across the board. I've been told that sometimes when I get to know people, it feels like I'm interrogating them. Now, you gotta remember, in the Marine Corps, I worked a lot with prisoners being transported to and from. And then the first job that I had out of the Marine Corps was a police officer for the city of Palm Springs, California. And so I don't mean to do it, tie that in with my PTSD, but I have a serious face, and I don't know. So I need to work with it. I need to learn to communicate better. It's not my intent, but there it is. And I think that when I become a better communicator, God will use my newly developed talents to reach out to the lost and to teach them about his love and his plan for salvation, and that he wants us all to be with him. And I want to do so to just kind of help affect what we're told to do in Matthew 28:18 through 20. For Jesus said, "All authority has been given to me. Therefore, go out into the world, make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them everything that I have taught you. And surely I am with you to the very end of the age." It's a powerful speech. If you think about it, that's the very last thing he said to them. That's like a deathbed confession. He said it to them directly. It's pretty powerful if you think about it that way. I'm super excited about my future and getting back into the workplace. The reason why I retired was because I broke my back while in the Marines and had my last surgery about a year and a half ago, which replaced a few of my discs. And the 5-year-old next door calls me RoboCop because I now have hearing aids and a bulletproof back. That's what he says. I don't think it's bulletproof. I hope that this finds you doing well, and may God bless. And I would like to apologize to all of you for being late. It was not my intent to be disrespectful in that way or take light in this class. God bless.